AEW Full Gear. Full Gear has been one of AEW's tentpole pay-per-views, along with Revolution, All Out, and Double or Nothing. And it has brought to us some exciting matches. And 2023 should be no different. But one of the many things that AEW excels at is tag team wrestling, whether it be 2-on-2, 4-on-4, or the odd 5-on-5. So with today's list, we're going to look at and rank the 10 best tag team matches in the history of Full Gear so far. Number 10, American Top Team and the Men of the Year versus the Inner Circle in a Minneapolis street fight. Now, this match was a little weird because even though it was a street fight, it started out and was 5-on-5. It started out as a regular tag team match, which was just a little weird. When you're a street fight, things greatly improved when everything broke down, but once we got to the spots and the weapons, it was too little too late, because there was another match earlier on the card where we had so much carnage, and this just felt out of place. There was also a couple missed spots with some missed timings, and that happens when you have a bunch of non-wrestlers wrestling, well, in a wrestling ring. Certainly wasn't a disaster, but it just didn't stand up to the quality of the rest of the card. Number 9, Sting and Darby Allin versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal in a no DQ tag match. AEW Full Gear 2022. This was such a random match, but if you see AEW Day, the weird pairing of Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett just works. And this was fine. When you get Sting in a tag match, you know it's going to be brought with some sort of stipulation. This was a no DQ match. The match was good. It was fine. Happened right there in the middle of the show. We got enough crazy spots with Sting diving off the crowd and Jeff Jarrett hitting Darby Allin midair with a guitar. But it was fine. It was fun. It was fine and fun. And ultimately, Sting and Darby Allin won this match, making another W on their belts, as they are just undefeated as a tag team. Number 8, Swerve in Our Glory versus the Acclaimed for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. This was the third match in their trilogy, with the Acclaimed, now the defenders, defending the championships against Swerve in Our Glory. And ultimately, this was a fine match at the end of their trilogy. It didn't live up to the first two matches, especially that first match at All Out, but it was really, really good and fine at the end. And we got a major storyline development with Keith Lee walking out on Swerve, refusing to cheat, refusing to turn to the dark side, allowing Swerve to get pinned by the Acclaim. But ultimately, we never got the Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland match. Number 8, SCU versus the Lucha Brothers versus Private Party for the AEW World Tag Team Championships at Full Gear 2019. This was the early days of AEW, as we had SCU, the first ever AEW Tag Team Champions, defending against two future mainstays of the AEW Tag Team division, the Lucha Brothers and Private Party. And this was a solid affair. Nothing wild, nothing crazy, just a really solid tag team match with just 3 teams of tag team specialists that are able to just put on a good match and give you quality. It's nothing crazy to write home about, especially when it comes to other matches on this list. But sometimes all you need is the simplicity of tag team wrestling, and that's what we got here. Number 6, Cody Rhodes and Pac versus Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo at AEW Full Gear 2021. This match was in a really tough spot because it came right after the Falls Count Anywhere match, which we'll get to. But they were able to make things work. What didn't help this match was the fans totally hating on Cody, especially with the story they were trying to tell, and it just didn't really mesh. Because I don't know, the weird thing with Cody near the end of his tenure in AEW just got weird, and the match was sloppy at points. But with the talent involved, Cody, Pac, Andrade, Malachi Black, it had no choice but to be good, and it was a really, really good tag team match. It just had a lot to live up to, and that's okay. Ultimately, this would be a solid affair with Cody making his way out of AEW. Number 5, the Proud and the Powerful versus the Young Bucks, AEW Full Gear 2019. Screw what's going on right now between Santana and Ortiz. Back when AEW first started, the Proud and the Powerful were one of the top teams in AEW, and I really wish they had gotten a tag team championship reign. And they were going up against the Young Bucks, who were faces at the time, and they going back and forth. And the Proud and the Powerful were a part of the Inner Circle, the top faction in AEW at that time. And again, we had another solid match of tag team wrestling. This is one of those times where you don't need stipulations and you can just go and get something great. Some of us forget just how good Santana and Ortiz were as a tag team, and obviously the Young Bucks are no slouches as well. This was just a good match. Number 4, the Young Bucks versus FTR for the AEW World Tag Team Championships at AEW Full Gear 2020. I mean, what do you expect? It's FTR. It's the Young Bucks. They are tag team wrestling. This was the end, I believe, of their trilogy, and this was a dream match that we've gotten, and we got it, and they had to deliver, and deliver they did, because this was by far and away the best match on Full Gear 2020. These dudes told a story of injuries that Matt Jackson and Dax Harwood had. There were so many great callbacks to other tag teams and tag team history. It was just good, man. These two teams know how to make magic. We had great near falls. We had submissions. We had Clash of Styles, and seeing Cash Wheeler lose the titles by choosing flips over fists was a great decision, because we know how they feel about flips and versus fists. Man, it was just good, and it was very, very good, because that's what you get with tag team wrestling. Number 3, Christian and Jurassic Express versus the Super Click in a 6-man Falls Count Anywhere match at AEW Full Gear 2021. Man, this match was just nuts. It wasn't about submissions. It wasn't about technicality. It was just a fight with these 6 dudes putting on an amazing match with very, very innovative spots. There were so many different weapons used with tables and thumbtacks, and they did everything to get over with the crowd. And then get over with the crowd, they did. It was such a roller coaster of emotions with this match, and seeing where we are now today with these 3 men of Christian, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus, it's funny to call back to this match and just see how much they've evolved. This was such a good match, and the Super Click were just there, and sometimes I forget what they were feuding over, but it just worked. Number 2, the Lucha Brothers versus FTR for the AEW Tag Team Championships at Full Gear 2021. Again, another just fantastic match from the Lucha Brothers and from FTR. It was crazy. FTR really, really does well when they face a team that clashes with their style, and when you have 2 of the best high flyers in the game in Penta and Rey Fenix, It gets no better than that. We got submissions, we got flips, we got holds, we got everything that we expect from these two teams. And mind you, this wasn't even the best match of either team's career that they've had against each other, but it was still an awesome match. And number one, AEW Full Gear 2022, the Death Triangle versus the Elite in match one in their best of 7 series for the AEW World Trios Championships. The Death Triangle, the Elites, were on a mission after the Elite had got suspended with, All Out. We got these vignettes of the Elite being erased from AEW's history before the match was made official, and Kenny and the Bucks finally came back to face off against the Death Triangle to go and get those trios championships that they had never lost. And the Death Triangle were great foils for the Elite, and this just started their best of 7 series, and it just got better and better and better. This was one of the top matches of 2022. Just because it wasn't just because it was a spectacular wrestling contest with some of the best in the business with the Lucha Brothers, the Young Bucks, Pac, Kenny Omega, but there's bona fide history there between the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers and Pac versus Kenny Omega, because those people have been feuding from that time since 2019, and this match delivered in spades. And this started the run of Rey Fenix using that hammer to cheat, and we really never saw that with the Lucha Brothers and Kenny Omega to retain the championships. But it started out, and we kept going, and this match was absolutely fantastic. I know I didn't miss anything, because there actually have only been 10 tag team matches on the main cards of Full Gear. But tell me what you think. Is there a order that you would have gone with? Let me know. Don't forget to check out the High Risk Wrestling Podcast every single Saturday, and of course the High Risk Wrestling Recap every single Sunday, where you get your podcast. And come back this week for Flashback Friday, and don't forget to check out the movie and TV reviews, because we got a couple joints popping up on the channel. But I am Jeremy Pierce, and I will see you when I see you. Peace.